Mute.
Okay, my friends, and we are live. So let me make sure that we go public because the book face always changes that status for me once we get there. So as soon as I fix that, we will go ahead and get started. We should be good. Maybe if you want to share that to our communities, and I encourage all of you to go, you can find my Facebook page where this call is public and share it because we know the power of these phone calls. So what's happening, Shredder Nation? Happy Wednesday. Heather Sika Leonard coming to you as the guest host once again of our ER Shred Come Alive call, my favorite night of the week because we hear the stories of how lives are changed through this amazing protocol. And I'm super excited for what's to come. I want to do a quick shout out to Bob Sivright, our ER Shred ambassador around the business, and his call helping people work through getting started, sharing the shred and starting that business. And I want to announce that tomorrow night, Bob will be going and taking a deep dive into our compensation plan. So beginners, veterans, it's time to review that so you know the power that you have just by sharing your story and sharing the shred. So tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific, in our Shredders Unite Biz group, you can get our Zoom link to join him live for that call. I want to thank our ambassador, Mr. Jesse James Jamnick, for his call last night on helping just answer some of those questions that are coming up for so many of us as we're finishing this group shred. So all of those tips and tidbits were extremely helpful and extremely powerful. I know I need to go back and rewatch it because end of the year teacher tired is making it not all sinking yet. I need some more butter and that's okay. So I do want to give an update from myself with the shred style, living the shredder life, because I am in the throes of the most chaotic part of my school year, which is inventory. By day, I am a grade 7-8 certified music teacher. I teach orchestra. And we are in a district where we actually provide instruments to our students to use, but it's my job to maintain them. And I will say that I am so grateful for the energy that I have gained, that I was able to actually have my hands on over 100 instruments today. And I mean, when I say I had my hands on them, I cleaned them, I sanitized them, I checked them in, I checked for damages. Some of them I repaired in-house, others I prepared for the vendors to repair that it was out of my hands. And I don't think I could have done 100 in a day and then still go to spin class after teaching a full day and dealing with inventory. So that is an awareness. While I'm exhausted right now, that is an awareness that I would not have been able to do prior to living this lifestyle. I'm 18 months in and I'm grateful for it every day. But enough about me. Let's get into our shares. And Miss Beatrice, are you out there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Miss Beatrice. Where are you calling in from?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida. And tell us something you're passionate about.
Family.
Family
and health. Yes, yes. And in order for me to have time with family, I need to be healthy. Let me tell a little story about me. I have 6 children, all grown. I have 10 grandkids. So those keep me very busy. I'm a widow. My husband passed 9 years ago with cancer. So I know what it is to take care of someone that is ill. How much it takes out of you. So after he passed, I went to my doctor and my doctor said, I don't know how you are alive because your numbers are everywhere. Your sugar, your everything. And the only thing that kept me, she said, healthy was because I started running. So that was my outgoing. Okay. So that's my passion. That's why this past week, finally, I was able to go and run. So for me, it's family and health. Sharing. I do a grief support at our church. So I've been doing that for 9 years. So I like to talk to people and listen to where they're at. So for me, that's what I love.
I love that. In a servant heart, we see those throughout our community. And so that's why I knew you were a good fit to chat with me, because the servant heart is what it's all about. And family and health are the bottom line. They're everything.
Yep.
There's nothing we can ever
replace. If you don't have health, I mean, there's not. And I'm trying to teach my daughters, because I have 5 daughters and 1 son. So little by little, I'm sharing with them. Well, one of my daughter goes, "Oh, mom is in this happy path now, right?" So I said, "Yes, I am, and it's working." So I'm just putting little seeds there. I share them, what I'm eating, what I'm taking, and that's me. I don't push anyone to do what I'm doing. I want to do it myself, making sure that it works. So I'm able to share it with other people.
So who shared ER Shred with you?
Oh, Mimi.
So our part of ER Shred brought yet another servant heart to our community, which does not surprise me in the least. So I want to talk a little bit about what you're sharing, and then we'll go back into your story, because it sounds to me like you're aware that you can't want something for somebody else more than they want it for themselves. So you're doing exactly what you need to do and sharing the life you're living and living by example. Yes? Mm-hmm. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yes.
Because I will admit, us grown children can be a little bit stubborn to listening to what our parents have told us once we're out of the house. Yes. So I hear you that you can't push it and want it for them more than they want it for themselves. And that is a great approach to sharing what's going on. So what was you were sharing that your numbers were off the charts. When was that realization? Was that 9 years ago when your husband passed, or was that a recent checkup? Or
yeah, probably about 9 years ago. So then I started, eating better, having time for myself, because after he passed, it's like, okay, what do I do now? I needed to find a job, because I took care of him. So it was like, okay, this is me time. That's what I told my daughters. This is me. I need to take care of myself, so you don't have to take care of me. So that's what it is. So this weekend, when I was doing my, last week I had the flu, so I wasn't able to really complete my cleanse. So this past week I said, you know what? I need to clean. Since I can't cleanse, I'm going to cleanse my refrigerator. So I took a whole batch of things out. Like Panera has on Tuesdays, they have the bagels for half a price. So I had a whole bunch of bagels frozen, pancakes, something that I did with beer and wine and all that. This piece of meat, I said, you know what? It needs to go. So yes, I cleaned my refrigerator.
How did that feel?
Awesome. And I didn't feel, we should not throw food away, but I did not feel bad. It was great. So that was challenge, but good.
That's empowerment right there, to be able to say, this no longer serves me. Bye. Right?
Yeah.
That's gotta feel good.
It does. And when we make those choices, we it's like you feel better. It's like that doesn't affect me,
And so how long have you been on your shred journey?
I mean, I started on like the 23rd, 25th. I started a little bit, then I stopped, and then I'm with you guys since the 6th. Because I got sick.
So you haven't even been shredding for a month.
No, and I lost 5 pounds.
Okay, that's pretty epic, right? Don't they say once we hit a certain age, especially females, you can't lose it, so get over it? Yeah, no, that's all lies, right? And so you've already been empowered to identify foods that are not serving your body in less than a month.
Well, because I think it is, if we want to change, like we can sort of start changing, but if we really want to change, we need to work at it. We cannot just say, oh, I don't think so, this is going to work for me. That's how I think. I mean, right. I did seven marathons, like when I did my first one, it was like, I don't think so I could do this. But,
power to you, because my kickboxing instructor made us run one lap around the building, and I'm like, I am done. I do not run.
Oh, listen, you can do it. I started at 58, so you can do it.
Yeah, I'll leave the running to Jesse, and I'll find my own fitness that I like, because running is not for me. But I love that mindset. So where did that mindset come from?
I think seeing my husband ill, what cancer can do, not eating properly and all that, it was awakening for the whole family. You know what I'm saying? But most for me, because I know how I need to be healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I cheat sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But.
Okay, let's change our language first of all. Hold on.
Yeah, it's not cheating.
Here's an empowerment moment. We're going to change our language, right? That it's a treat when we make a choice to do something, yes. Right? It's a treat. It's not a cheat, because then you feel like you did something. I like that one, a treat. Jesse did a whole video on it. That's why he stepped away from the camera. So I figured I'd jump in and just steal some of his language, because he tells me I sound smart when I repeat what he taught me. But you also said you have to do the work. Has the ER shred felt like work to you?
No. I know. And even though I was sick, because I had the flu, I had to go to urgent care and all that, I was able to sleep. No, the thing was the coughing. That was annoying, but I didn't get a headache, so it wasn't hard for me.
Yeah. So it's not work when you simplify your life. Have you noticed? Right. So what was your diet like prior to starting the ER shred?
I was eating pretty healthy, because I do, but it changed my mind now on eating everything organic, which I wasn't doing it before. I have a budget, and then, so I just making my choices, eating more organic, more healthier than before. So that was, like the bell in my head.
Yes. But now that you're immersing yourself in the group, because I see you in there and I know you're in there and you're reading and you're learning, do you really think that was necessarily the healthiest for you? Do you even know yet? Have you started to, you're still new, so I'm guessing you haven't started to explore your food blueprint yet, right?
No, not yet.
So isn't that like a mindset shift that has to take place, because you're eating all these fruits and vegetables and as clean as you can and working within your budget, and then, oh, wait a minute, now I'm just going to eat meat and eggs and butter and shakes, right? And we don't know yet. That's the fun part, right?
Yes. Just trying to figure out what is,
Yeah. I think
my body needs. Because that's the key, is what your body needs.
Right. Like my favorite go-to snack prior to the shred life was snap peas right out of my garden, right? I'm thinking, great, healthy. I grow them myself. I know what's going on. Snap peas are one of my biggest culprits. I can't eat them anymore.
Okay, when you say that, what is it? Is it something that affects you?
I have digestive issues within about 5 minutes of eating snap peas.
Okay.
It just clears my system, and that is not normal.
Okay, good to know. Okay.
Therefore, and those things, Jesse can speak to this more than I can, but those things you're going to hear your body say something to you. When you live the shred lifestyle, you feel amazing. And so as you introduce things, the reason we say go slow is you might not feel amazing eating.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't feel that good and I ate that, I don't want that again.
Got it.
Right? Like, I don't want that to be my friend anymore, because I don't feel as good as I felt. Right? Because you're starting to go through your come alive moment. and you start to feel what your body's supposed to feel like. And then when you eat something that doesn't make your body feel that way, for whatever reason, and you may even see it come out in your skin. Like I've had breakouts come out and I'm like, wait a minute, I introduced new food. So now my skin is telling me that it wasn't my fan.
Got it. Okay. Yes, definitely. Yes, it makes sense.
And what I love is you're showing up with the awareness. You're showing up with where you don't want your life to go. Because unfortunately, what you lived through, your lived experience, you don't want to be that person, and you don't want to have your kiddos have to take care of you. So you're coming to it with the mindset that you want your optimal health.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're here to do it. And I see you showing up. So what are some of the things you've experienced on your shred? I heard 5 pounds, which is amazing. Have you done any inches? Have you noticed quality of sleep improve? Energy? I heard that you were sleeping even when you weren't feeling well, which is really good.
Yeah.
You need
yes.
that.
Well, I haven't measured on clothing and everything because I work remotely. So I work in PJs. The only thing, if I have a meeting, a Zoom meeting, I put a shirt on, a little bit of makeup, and it's like,
Wake up doesn't matter, everything else. I
exactly.
get you.
So really in clothes, I haven't really had to go anywhere so I can change, look nice. But besides that, I have more stemma. Like, for example, I went and did 3 miles after having fever 2 nights, so.
Awesome. So you're out running and you're active and you're energized. So
yes.
Did you have some reservations when you first came into the community?
No.
You were ready to give it a shot, even though it was so different than what you were eating like before?
Well, I mean, reading everybody's stories and how good they felt and all that, I said, okay, now that I can afford $300, but let me do the $300 and see where this takes me. So my kids go, Mom, you want to spend $300? I said, listen, if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, it's okay. Now, when I ask you to pay the credit card, then you complain about it. If I'm not asking you to pay my credit card, do not worry about it. So,
There you go. Yep, your money you choose. And honestly, that $300 goes a really long way.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? So for me, the way I did it was like, I used to go to the gym, but I'm not going to the gym anymore. So I said, well, if I used to pay for the gym, I can, do this and figure this out. And then if it's that,
yeah.
And God bless me, I moved to a new apartment and they have a gym on the first floor. So it's like I'm paying for a gym.
There you go. So you reallocated funds because you wanted to
exactly.
You make your priorities.
And that's the key.
Go for it. How is that the key? Tell me more.
If your priority is you, which it should be number one, it's not that being selfish. With 6 kids, I cannot be selfish. You know what I'm saying? But, that's my priority. And that's what I have learned, to put myself first. Yeah. And it is hard at the beginning, but then it's like, I love it. I need to love me first and look good for me, not for somebody else, and do the best I can.
Right. And us moms, we can't pour from an empty cup, and we usually empty our cup taking care of everybody else. We need to remember we need to fill ours first.
Yes.
So that we're there to take care for everybody else. Right?
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know you are well on your way to sharing your shred and crushing your journey. Is there anything else on your heart you want to share with people tonight? Oh, I see Jesse raising his hand.
Hi, Beatrice.
Hi.
You're awesome.
I heard your message yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Hopefully I didn't have too much of a party mouth. Sometimes that it just slips out accidentally. So I have a question. First of all, congratulations. Thank you. What you shared tonight is literally gives me goosebumps because you're playing the strings of the guitar that I'm trying to sing from, even though I can't sing. It is all about you. You have to be that priority. I just have this. So 2 things that you brought up. One was the money, And I have a question now. Now that you've come this far, and I know it hasn't been like super long, like there's people on this call that have been doing this for over a year and have done this. And I think we've kind of all had that question. What do you now feel the value of that is? Like, do you see that as the same value where before it was like, oh my God, $300? Or do you view that differently now with what you've experienced so far?
There's no value. There's no value. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I see what it's doing to me. So I put a value. You know what I'm saying? It's priceless because I'm learning how to eat better, how to take care of myself, how to make better choices. So for me, that's, there's no value in that.
I love that you said that. Value is crazy, right? Like, I mean, I think it's so nuts when somebody's like $10 a day, and I'm like, I just don't think we realize what we're spending $10 on, to be quite honest with you. Like it's nuts. Like, I think I haven't been to Chick-fil-A lately, but I'm pretty sure it's like $7 for the average, like so-called value meal. And then what's the value that we're getting for that compared to what's the value that we're getting for pretty much almost that same money? You know what I mean? And then I go, well, is $3 worth no doctor's visits, not time spent there, maybe something that can be reversed or whatever the case may be. So that's awesome. So I appreciate you sharing that. And then my other question is you having all of these amazing grandkids. I've heard some pretty special stories about grandparents in the ER Shared community over the last year and a half plus. Have you noticed anything on that level of maybe like how you saying yes to yourself has shifted into any other avenues of life?
I'm sorry, I didn't get any.
Has your newfound energy shifted from just like your own personal health, like maybe like the way that you show up with your grandkids or how you're processing or thinking in that nature? Do you feel that you getting your health has brought it into other areas of your life at this point? And maybe it hasn't yet.
No, because I'm pretty much going up person. Pretty much, I have my group. I haven't, anything yet that I can
cool.
say.
Yeah, I was just curious. No worries, not a big deal. Okay, I'm done. You're awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are a rock star. And is there anything else on your heart you want to share that you didn't get a chance to yet?
No, I just keep reading those messages and trying to do my best, and then we'll see where we go from here.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You do your best. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up and doing your best. So awesome, Beatrice. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. We appreciate you. Let's go to the gallery view and put up those swords because Beatrice is a warrior and a superhero coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Within her first month to share her story. All right. Next up, we have a birthday girl to give us an update, Miss Charity Davis. Charity, are you out there?
Hello.
A little birdie told me it's a happy birthday to you.
I bet I know who that was.
Yeah, I wonder who it could be. So, Miss Charity, for those who don't remember from your initial share with us, what is something you're passionate about? Or maybe it's even changed since the last time we chatted.
Actually, I don't think anybody ever asked on my first call. So,
and I think that was so I apologize.
I would have to say my passion is probably working, whether I choose that to be the best thing or not. But I work 2 jobs. I work 7 days a week, and I've been doing it for so long that it's normal to me. And so I'm in my downtime. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, I have to do something just to, and with my Garmin activity watch, it reads stress and things. When I'm doing nothing, my body has more stress, according to my watch. So, it keeps me going to keep going.
And you know what? I can sense that, like, I'm trying to learn that I shouldn't be working all of the time, but I want to be active. Yeah. And so it's finding that balance to stay active when it, what do you do for work?
I work in law enforcement for my full-time job. I'm only a secretary now. I was a corrections officer for 12 years. And so I took a step back from that. And so now I'm a secretary for patrol. And then I work at Hannaford Grocery Store on the weekends, where I'm the produce queen.
I love it. And I'm guessing you're slapping that produce like nobody's business now, right?
Oh, this is my second go around. I've been there for 7 years this time. And before I started the law enforcement career, I worked there for 7 years at a different store. And I was in produce then as well. But the best part is I work with a bunch of kids, they're 20-year-olds, 20, this is for you older folks. And I run circles around them. Like when I come in on the weekend, they give me the good feels because they're like, Charity's here. Like, we can do nothing. Charity's going to save the day. Like, it is what it is. The younger generation doesn't have the work ethic. So yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun for me.
And it feels good to have that energy to put.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To put those little ones in their place when they challenge you. I know Jesse gets challenged by a 7-year-old and puts him in his place all the time. I got middle schoolers challenging me daily. So I'm like, all right, you want to go? Let's go.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's an empowerment. That's another part of our empowerment is when we run circles around these kids and they need to understand we may be older, but we're stronger and wiser. So that's
absolutely. Yeah, right. I have to dial back the inner corrections officer as well because C.O. Davis comes out sometimes and she's hardcore. Oh gosh.
I feel like those roles, you as a corrections officer, me as a teacher, I feel like those voices just naturally come back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Really people because it's part of who you are. It's just embedded in you.
Yeah.
So you just had a pretty epic post recently that I want to invite you all to go into the group and look for Charity Davis because she posted a picture update and it was pretty epic. So let's go. Since we last chatted, what's been going on living the shred life?
Yeah. Well, so I had started in February of this year. And mind you, I have tried everything under the sun forever to lose weight. 100% purely. That was always my thing. And I don't know if Jess is out there, Jessica Tessier, if she's out there watching or not, but I had told her once upon a time that I had a fat book that I've been keeping. And like, this is like my quest of everything I've ever tried. And so Jessica Tessier was the one that introduced me to the shred. And I know her, like we grew up together. We played softball together for ever and ever and ever until we were done with school. So when I found that connection with her, she told me about the program that worked for her. She's like, oh, you ought to give this a try. And I had tried Isagenix a few years ago on a different plan. And she had introduced me to that one as well, which I had success with, but I kind of gave up the ball, I guess, on that one and didn't keep going with it. And this one, I just finished on the 11th, my first Isabody challenge. And it felt amazing, I guess, for lack of a better word, that I knew I could do it, but it's the only thing that's shown me success, I guess, to where I could see it. And I don't know what they say it takes so long for other people to notice, a couple months for other people to notice. And I wasn't getting that. And I'm like, gosh, I'm seeing them, like, why isn't anybody saying anything to me? Like, I need to hear that. But just today, we had a health fair at work today. And I had 2 people that I hadn't seen in a while. And they came running up to me and they're like, oh my you're like fading away. And I'm like, no. But it's a good feeling to actually to know it and to see the success. And I'm not where I want to be, but I'm okay. I mean, I was okay with where I was before, but I'm digging it. Like, I'm liking it. And if I can get some of my problem areas to latch on to this success, then I'll be golden.
Well, and I think that's part of it. Part of it is just accepting it's a journey, and it didn't come on overnight, and it's not going to come off overnight.
Right.
And I also think that really shows the power and the importance of taking pictures, because those that we see consistently, we're looking in the mirror every day, like getting ready for, so it's hard to see those changes when they happen and you're seeing it every day. So the IsaBody challenge, what I love about it, because I just finished mine on Sunday as well, you've got 16 weeks between those photos. And so you've got 4 months difference. And when you can see that time frame, it's not just the daily time lapse, because I think we get stuck in that because you can't see it because it's not that drastic from day to day. But when you put it in that perspective of the 16-week challenge and you see it, that's when you have your holy crap moment.
Yeah.
Because like my 16-week challenge, I think it was only about 2 pounds difference, but my body composition was so different because of what I've been doing. And that's why I had to go somewhere to weigh myself, because I smashed my scale.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully I was somewhere else that I could weigh myself for my challenge, because otherwise I wouldn't have known, because I shattered my scale one day. So talk to me a little bit more about that book. Does that book have a negative control over you? Are you ready to burn that book because you found your lifestyle? Tell me about that book.
Well, this has been up on a shelf in this room for quite some time. I can't remember if I put the IsaBody challenge in it or the first time I tried Isagenix in it, but I haven't added anything to this, and I haven't looked at it in a long time. There is a good thing to it, because I can see all the things and some of the progress, but like in this book, it also shows me at my worst, I guess. And to think the heaviest I was in this book was 230, and the smallest I was in this book is 189. And I can't believe I did that, but I had 3 jobs, I think, at that time. So I literally was working constantly and having a cup of soup as my meal, and going to sleep and getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do it all over. So I guess there's no surprise I didn't have time to eat. So
not the healthy way to do it either, as we've learned.
Right. And so here I am now. My IsaBody challenge was to get to 180. That was my goal. And I weighed in at 180 for the first time in my life. So I was happy.
Happy. So do you think you can put that book away now and embrace your lifestyle moving forward?
Yeah. I don't think this much matters much anymore. And I try not to get fixated on the number that's on the scale, like everybody always says. Yep. And it's good, but it's not the defining factor. And so in talking with Jessica the other day, I was saying, I'm okay. I'm okay with that number. I still have more goals that I want to work on, mm-hmm. and hopefully I can get there. But, if I don't, I mean, that's okay too, because I'm trying. So, it's going to come somewhere, I guess.
And so that sounds like that's a mindset shift for you.
Yeah.
And how does that feel?
It's pretty overwhelming, actually. I've never let my weight define me or keep me from doing anything. Like I said, I've played sports my entire life, and I guess I was the fat girl that was really good at playing sports. And so I guess that overwhelmed the rest of it. So yeah, weight never kept me from doing things that I wanted to do. So I guess that's, powerful in itself. Like,
Right.
So, but it's good to see the change, and it makes me feel good. And other people see it so different. Like my fiance, he's like, I loved you the way you were before. He's like, and I still love you the way you are now. Like, you don't have to starve yourself. I mean, he's there in his head. He knows what the program's all about, but he's supportive in every aspect, which is great. And, he's there cheering me on irregardless, so it's fantastic.
That's always good too. And I'm hearing you've got the energy to run circles around these teeny boppers and 20 somethings, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I had that anyway. Like when I work, on the weekends, I usually work 5 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm out at 1:30 and then do whatever I've got to do, or want to do for the rest of the day. And I go all day long. And don't get me wrong, come the end of the night, time to go to bed, like I'm ready to go to bed, but I can keep going. And, I still, sometimes I tell Gary, the fiance, I'm like, why are you walking so fast? I'm like, but yeah, the energy is good. And I guess it's not more than what I had before, but I guess it's more sustainable and it hangs on a little bit longer. So
that's important, right?
Yeah.
Because it's good if you can have that rush, but as long as you're not crashing at the end of it.
Exactly.
That's part of the keys.
Yeah.
What would you say to those who were like, I'll give it 11 days and then I'm moving on? What do you think? Is this the right style?
I'm going to say after your 11 days, you're going to be hooked. There's not going to be any moving on, because it's that my first 11 days was, I don't remember my numbers, but that was the epic. Like I've had on the other shreds I've done, 3, 4, 5 pounds and, a few inches. And in your head, you're like, nah, like I sucked. Like that wasn't good, but it was like, it's gone. Those pounds, those inches, those are gone. It all adds up in the end. And, you might have a couple pounds here or there on one shred, but the next one, you're banging it out. Like, so yeah, there's not going to be any tossing it aside. It does work. You're going to be hooked like right off the bat. So.
Absolutely. All right. So our shred warriors, let's give it up to our birthday girl, Miss Charity Davis, for showing us the lifestyle that it is. Way to go, and keep putting those 20 somethings in their place.
I sure will.
All right. I know he gave us a lot of tips and tricks last night, but I'm sure he's got something to say about this call. So go ahead. I'm going to kick it over to my brother from another mother, whether he wants it or not, Mr. Jesse James Jamnick.
Wow, what a choice I got.
You love it anyways.
Charity, congrats. That's awesome. Thank you for coming back on and sharing. It's honestly just such a cool thing to just be a part of, if you haven't realized, like, this really is for everybody, right? Like, there is no right and wrong. There is no I messed up or didn't mess up. You can only fail if you actually quit on yourself. Like, that's the only bad thing that you could do, is just officially actually quit on yourself and stop altogether. Not go off a day and come back or whatever. Like, that's called welcome to being a human. We encourage you to be one of those. Like, be a real human, right? Like, that's the reality. And just work through the different processes to get you closer to where you want to get to. And you'll start to realize that, I've tried to, I preach this, but health is our greatest wealth. I think Beatrice actually brought this up numerous times. Like, health really is our greatest wealth. And if you say yes to you enough, you're going to start to realize that this carries over into all different aspects of your life, your career, your relationships, the way that you show up in conversation, the way that you can process thoughts when shitty things happen to you, because shitty things happen to really good people every single day. you're going to be in a position to be strong enough to deal with it. That is living a shredder life. If you're looking for a bigger picture, if you're asking me, right? Like that's what it's about. When you know, the grandkids start to go crazy and you can keep up, that's another aspect, right? When you can do amazing things with loved ones and you could venture places that some people can only think about and imagine what it will be like because they can only do it by looking in a magazine, but yet you can do it in real life in person because you've said yes to yourself enough over the course of time. That is another example of if that's for you, right? Like there's thousands of these that we can go through because they're all right. That's the most important message, is they're all right. I'm going to be really, really quick tonight. I want to highlight my sister from another mister, Susan Rothman, put up a beautiful live earlier today. Her and I had one of the most fabulous conversations this morning on my ride into my job today. And it was about that. And I would highly encourage you all to go back and look at it. It is, you know, the relationships that we are creating with the lab coats, the white coats. And, you know, I'm going to say that I want you to take that mindset that she shared with you on the co-creation, because when you can co-create with a partner and you can have an accountability piece and a support piece, your chances for success are going to go through the wazoo. I mean, it's statistically and scientifically proven. It's the whole basics of National Board Certification of Health and Wellness Coaching is co-creation. You don't have the answers for people in their life. Your job is to get people to believe in themselves, so they realize that they have the answers, and then hold them accountable, brainstorm, work through things. Like when you really look at this shredder community, if you've been here long enough, isn't that kind of the concept of what it is? Isn't that what it is? It's not magical to me why it works so well, right? The protocol works so well, and we could go hours and hours and hours behind the science and the way it functions in the body, and we're not going to get into all of that, okay? But there's a reason for all of that as well too, right? There's a reason you're getting whacked really, really quick, even in the first 11 days. Surprise! It's like, whoa, that's what I'm supposed to feel like. Holy shit. I didn't even feel that my entire life, some people, right? And it's awesome, right? But then when you really dig in, when you dig your heels in, and you start to keep putting you first, and you show up to the group, and you show up to the community, and you start to share with other people, and you start to help other people, which is what Bob's going to chat with you guys about. And he's going to start diving into that on his call on Thursdays and over into our other page, the Shredders Unite Biz page, right? Like that's what, you know what I mean? Like then it starts to become even more layered. And then it's like, whoa, right? And you build and you build and you build. So I want to keep encouraging you to be your own best detective. I want to keep encouraging you to not always believe the story that you've heard, and start to question, where did I even learn that story from in the first place? Is that story even true, or did I believe it to be true? Is that food really healthy for me, or did I just believe it to be healthy for me because I read it in Muscle and Fitness magazine? Because I saw it on the news, because some Instagram bunny boo boo shared it with me, and I believe that it is life, or the best of all, because I Googled it, it must be real. Guys, come on. Like, you got to use some common sense, okay? And with nutrition and with doctors and with your health, we're encouraging you. We don't have the answers for you, but we have the tracks that you can run on. The elimination, reset, shred protocol is the tracks that you can run on, and you can run on them over and over and over and over and over again as many times as you need to get to that next level, okay? But keep questioning why you believe the story, and really sit with it and ask yourself, is this actual reality? Or is this the reality of a story that I'm believing to be true that might not have anything behind it, because God only knows where I even got it from in the first place? Start to get deep like that and ask those questions, and watch how everything opens up even more for you. And you start to be like 5 jumps ahead of the chess game. And that chess game is your life. And that's the most beautiful chess game that you'll ever play. You are worth so much, right? I put up a post this morning that said, you are not your traumas. You are not your past experiences. You are not those. You are not. I have suffered them myself. You are not your past traumas. You are not the past things that people have done to you or shitty things that have happened to you. You are so much more than that. And with your health, it can be that foundation that can get you to tap into that and just go so much further. So I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that brings some value to some of you. Don't stop believing in you. I freaking believe in you. I will continue to believe in you until you believe in yourself, which I hope comes sooner than later, because man, oh man, is this life a beautiful life if we can just tap into that piece of it. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Heather.
100%. Thank you for those tidbits. And there is a community of people that are believing in all of you. When you need it, come to us. Before we close out tonight, our other ambassador, Mr. Bob Sivright, is on the call, and I want to give him an opportunity for a minute to talk to you guys about tomorrow's business call. If you are looking to start sharing the shred forward, he's going to tell you a little bit more about what he's got on deck for tomorrow night. So go ahead, Bob, take over.
Awesome. Hey guys, Beatrice, Charity, thank you so much for your shares this evening. And Shredders Unite, what is that? That's basically a website, our sister site, if you will, that we share best practices of how you can share with others. If you're like many of us, once you get lit up, as Jesse said, once you come alive, once you say, oh my gosh, I haven't felt this good in years, like Charity, you may find people will take notice. We're going to work with you. We're going to help you with language, messaging, as well as to leverage and take advantage of referral bonuses that they have. There's an amazing business model behind this. We won't go into that tonight, but if you're curious, I know Beatrice, you mentioned cost of money, $300. If you're interested when you feel good and if it's appropriate for you, someone's asking, please join the Thursday night call. So Thursday night, we're going to do business basics all the way to advanced training. It depends on who's on the call. I'm making this more interactive for you. I promised the board we're going to turn up the heat big time. And the reason being is this. We've grown the community to almost 26,000 people. We have an amazing family, and the results are spectacular. Now it's time for those that choose to share this big time so we can ignite it and grow it to 50, 100,000 or more, because that's easy. With a number of people with these results, it only takes a handful to start sharing your glory with many. So that's it. Thursday night, Shredders Unite, and it will be in our Facebook page.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I believe it's www.shreddersunite.com. It's in guide 4 in our ER Shred community. So if you need to join that community because you want to learn more about sharing it, and all of the Zoom information for Bob's call is in that community as well. So once again, I want to thank you all for being here on this Wednesday night, showing up. A thank you to our superhero warriors that came on and shared their stories. These stories touch our hearts every week. We continue to show up, and I want to thank you all for being here. And that's what we've got. And we'll be back next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great night, all.